Do you all know the details of a deck of cards? How many cards are in a deck?
52.
And you might want to write this down so you have it. So if you ever have a card issue, you know how to do it. What about, what colors are the cards?
Red.
So 26 red, 26 black. What about suits?
4.
4 suits.
What do you mean? Do you mean like the king, queen?
Nope, that's diamonds, clubs,
Oh, okay.
spades, and hearts. Okay, 4 suits. How many picture cards?
Joker, Jack.
No joker.
No Joker.
Mm-mm.
Jack, king, queen. 3. 12.
12. There's 4 of each of them. Yes. Okay. So sometimes they're going to give you questions that have to do with that. Just refer back to your notes to do those questions. So if I have a deck of cards in front of me, how many different hands of 6 cards can I make? Now, in this case, when you're dealt a hand, it doesn't matter if you dealt the ace first or last. You still end up with an ace, right? So this is a combination because order doesn't matter. They're not asking you how many ways can you pick 6 out of the thing, like in different orders. But they're just asking you,
Picture cards?
why? Ace is not a picture card.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. For my problems, just consider ace a number, like a number 1, because it's easier to deal with. All right, so if I want to know how many ways there are to pick 6 cards out of a deck, you do a combination 52, comma 6. So everybody do that in the calculator. So there's 20 million ways, over 20 million ways to pick 6 cards from a deck of 52, okay? That's why it's really hard to predict an outcome when you're playing cards. There's enough cards to where, you know, it's really hard to predict that. We have, how many, what's the breakdown of the senior class?
12.
12 kids. And how many boys and girls? Is it 3 girls?
3 girls.
And 9 boys?
Yes.
All right, I want a group of kids to decide what to do for senior prank, but I want you guys to just form a little committee, and then you're going to go back to the other kids and get back with them. And I want the group to be 1 girl and 2 boys. Okay? So the way to figure this out is we say how many different groups of kids. That means if I pick Leah and Krug and O'Day, that's 1 group. If I replace Leah with Bianca, that's another group, even though Krug and O'Day are there, right? So the way you do this is you're picking 3 in total, but you're picking out of the 3 girls, you're picking 1. And out of the 9 boys, you're picking 2. You see how they're different categories? And then you find the combinations of 3, 1, the combinations of 9, 2, and multiply them together. So 3, 1 is 3. I don't know what 9, 2 is. So it's 3 times 36, which is what?
108.
108 different groups of kids I can make. Okay? Has anybody been to the Cheesecake Factory?
Yes.
Yeah. So the Cheesecake Factory, have you seen the menu?
It's huge.
It's insane. Like, I don't even know how they figure out how to shop for that place, because it's not like all the same thing. It's not like 14 kinds of hamburgers. They have salads and hamburgers and tacos and steaks and everything. And then they always have 40 kinds of cheesecake, which they have to make whether people buy them or not. They have 40 on hand all the time. I just wonder if they throw away a lot of food or what the deal is. I just don't get it. But if you were to go there and go on their menu, which we will do probably tomorrow, go on their menu and look at how many appetizers they have and how many desserts they have and how many entrees they have, and forget about the drinks, and then how many desserts they have, and you set up a thing where you have an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. See how many meals, different meals you can come up with, how many different combinations. It's in the millions. It's in the millions. So I always find that interesting. So let's say I have 22 different desserts. And I want to pick 4 of them for my reception for my wedding, right? I'm having a party or a wedding or whatever, and I want 4 of those desserts to be offered on the buffet. What are we going to do?
22.
Comma 4. So what would 22 comma 4 be? So there's 7,315 ways to pick 4 desserts off of a cart of 22. Okay, so that's a lot of different choices. I was told the other day that when you're given too many choices, it's hard to make a decision. That's why you only give toddlers 2 choices. And I sometimes only give teenage kids 2 choices if they're difficult, right? Because it just gets overwhelming. Well, we could have the carrot cake, we could have the bread pudding. Are those going to be different people who like those? You know, like you sit there and worry about all that stuff.